Hi there, welcome to Terraland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Virgo energy, and we're going to do two rows because the top row is going to be what people might be doing in their life if they harness high vibe Virgo energy. They're not letting the past affect their future decision making. They're not going to let their past pain, heartbreak, fears, insecurities, they've learned lessons in life, and they don't want to repeat those patterns of behavior and relationship anymore, and they're moving forward having shed a layer of their more worldly nature and fearful nature or whatever to be bold and brave and confident. And then there's going to be people who haven't shed that layer of fear or insecurity or immaturity, and they still have some lessons to learn before they can move forward, and they're going to keep repeating a pattern of being or of relationship until they decide they do want to learn those lessons that they were meant to learn to move forward. And they have free will. They can choose not to learn the lessons. They can choose to keep doing life exactly the way they've done it. We either see life from a more enlightened perspective, that life's about love, realizing that we can manifest our lives into reality, because we do every day by the decisions we choose to make and how we choose to think about ourselves and feel about ourselves. We can either be in denial of that and kind of like live life unconsciously, or make our life all about the world because we haven't seen life from our perspective, and we just think that the only purpose for being here is money and materialism and status and image. So we're going to see how different people are acting, and so far in the top row the cards aren't showing themselves, which is kind of funny because Virgo is represented by the Hermit. So maybe people who are going within to gain insight and wisdom, are not showing the world what's going on within them. It also, when they're not showing themselves, can be things that people are rejecting from their life. So, let's go see. Let's get like one more card for the top row. Oh, a group pile. Well, the group pile is Symphony, Fairy Tale, Very Likely, and Sapphire, which talks about spiritual insight, hope, faith, wise judgment. So maybe you went within to gain some insight and wisdom about past life experience, and you're ready to sing your own song, play your own music, be in line with the universe and in the flow of playing with the universe, having hope and faith and belief in your dreams, knowing if we keep taking steps in a certain direction in our life and how we choose to think about ourselves, how we choose to treat ourselves, we're going to have peace and harmony and balance and love within our life because we've put in the work and effort to have those things, and we're no longer investing our time, energy, and effort into our more unhappy, unpleasant, selfish, greedy, revengeful, petty, sad. We have free will. We are the masters of our thought and our actions in our life. And when we keep putting action into being in a place of peace and balance and love within ourselves, that's when, we're not investing our time, energy, and effort into people and things and ways of being that don't kind of play that same type of song. If they live their life to the beat of a different drummer, so be it. It's just to let people be who they are and not be in illusions about people. And if you know other people who live their life to the beat of a different drum, peace. It's not the rhythm of life that I'm in. So we're in two different rhythms. You do your life, I'll do my life. Everybody has the free will to create their life as they want it. And the reason for the reading for the top row is another card not showing itself, which is Person of Water. This one says emotional idealist. Well, I also think the Person of Water reminds me, which it does say on there, intuitive. You're listening to your intuition to guide you. Let's see what you got up here because it's just kind of killing me. You have declaration, ostrich, and yoga. If you know that you previously used to have your head in the sand, you meditated on the truth and you have realized that life is worth living, life is worth being like authentic and yourself and playing your own song kind of thing, and you're moving forward. And if there was other people in your life who keep having their head in the sand, you've meditated on the truth of that too, and seen that everybody has free will, everybody is where they're at. Wouldn't we all take our head out of the sand and see the truth? The truth is love. Some people don't want to see the truth that life's about love. If they harness shadowy Virgo energy, they might, can be just more worldly focused Virgo energy, they could be thinking like, no, it's not about love. It's about money and materialism and status and image. And we just have to see the truth of where some people are. So some people who did have their head in the sand, if that's you, because you only know where you're at right now, you've meditated on the truth and you've done that work. And you're ready, since these were not showing themselves, you're done with that. People who are in this high vibe Virgo energy are no longer maybe having to meditate about it. They are starting to play their own song, take action in the world to bring their dreams into reality. And you can see it by how they live their life. And if you know some other people who maybe just keep waiting, and they could even be somebody who turns their back on self-reflection, because Virgo and high vibe is about that aspect of ourself that self-reflects. There can be some people who never want to self-reflect on the truth. They don't want to see the truth. They don't want to meditate on the truth about themselves in the past or people from their past. Why aren't they moving forward in hope and faith and belief and love? Maybe they'd have to see some truths about themselves and others that in itself would be way too destabilizing to them to see the truth. We can all handle the truth when we can handle the truth, or if we ever want to see the truth. And some people can't handle the truth right now, and some people don't ever want to see the truth. We'll get some more clarifiers on that in a minute. But let's go down here and get some cards out for the bottom row for the people who are keeping their head buried in the sand, who don't want to reflect on the truth, or just have to go through some more life lessons in order to see the truth. It kind of makes me think of like when we're young, we can get relationships with people or doing things that aren't good for us, and we have friends and family saying, why are you doing that? You deserve so much better, or whatever. Until we see the truth of loving ourselves and realizing that we are worthy of being treated with love and respect and kindness, and it starts within ourselves. And then when we treat ourselves that way, we aren't going to tolerate being around other people who try to diminish us and belittle us. It takes time. Sometimes that's the big lesson in life that people have to learn. Okay. Let's skip up here now to the... Oops, all right. About the... You might not have been showing the world, declaring that there was a period of time of something that happened in your life that maybe made you feel like you couldn't see things clearly and you needed to take time to meditate. You maybe weren't telling everybody in the world that you are taking this time to gain insight and understanding about yourself, about others, how you can put your head in the sand and not want to see the truth, how other people you could have been dealing with are people who put their head in the sand and don't want to see the truth. And so in reverse, or not showing themselves, can just be that there could be some people in the world who don't know that you did this inner work. And they could wonder how it is that you are moving forward the way you do. Because maybe, a lot of times when people go through healing or self-reflection of trying to wrap their brain around this game of life, everybody doesn't tell everybody. It's like, well, I really had to put in this work and effort, and, I really did my crying, did my purging, did my whatever, but we're just all not doing it publicly. But let's see what the clarifiers have to say. We have the Fool card, the Five of Wands, the Ten of Swords, the Six of Pentacles, and the Fool card again. I have two of these exact same decks blended together for a dream. You could have taken a risk to try to bring a dream into reality. And when there was some inner conflict, or one of the people or both of the people, maybe there was inner conflict. The Five of Wands comes after the Four of Wands, and that is the Four of Wands is about coming together with people, like in joy and celebration, if that's a friendship, a relationship, a workplace, a family, whatever it is. And people want to take inspired action forward, but the Five of Wands talks about how there's inner conflict. How do we move forward in the way that you're inspired or in the way that I'm inspired? And that's when you can find out that you have different dreams of an end goal in a relationship. We're talking about Aquarius energy. High vibe Aquarius energy, and people who harness high vibe Aquarius energy are people who have hope and faith and belief in their dreams from a perspective of love. They're not making their life all about worldliness and money and materialism and status and image. Aquarius energy is willing to step outside of societal norms to bring about needed change in the world. And it happens one person, one relationship, family, workplace at a time. And you could have been friends with, or workmates, or romantic relationships with, or family members, where you had different ideas of this dream that you were heading towards. Some people are a fool for repeating patterns of the past, and their dream is to look like a shining star in the world, to have people look up and admire them. And it is much more worldly based than love based and having hope and faith and belief in their dreams. And because of that, it could have come to a painful ending. And so you had to, the Pentacles can talk about investing time, energy, and effort. And that's Taurus energy. You had to put time, energy, and effort within yourself to maintain your balance, because the Six of Pentacles talks about we nurture kind of our emotional state, and the feminines in tarot talk about our emotional state, and then the masculine talks about our worldly way of being and our ego and how we present ourselves to the world. You knew that you needed to invest time and energy into both of them, because otherwise, you'd be making decisions out of your emotions instead of being like practical and grounded, or you'd be making decisions out of ego and probably not making decisions that were best for you emotionally. So you did the work and effort to maintain your balance so that you could go on a new journey of life. It's like, I learned some life lessons from this experience, and that's why we come into contact with anyone in our life, is to get more clear about what our truth is, what we're willing to stand up for, what we're willing to fight for, what we believe in, and get clear about what we believe in. And by coming into contact with people who we come to realize view life maybe much differently than we do, it's just like, oh, okay. This helped me get clear about what my truth is. And if I was in a relationship with someone who has inner conflict about having hope and faith and belief in their dreams, or in love and trusting other people, or if they're driven and motivated and inspired to make their life more about money and materialism and status and image, well, then we see life differently. I wish you peace. Hope yours works out for you. It's not how I view life. I view life differently. I want my relationships to be where people take creative, inspired action based on love. And if you had been exchanging time, energy, and effort with someone, that has come to an end. If they are someone who likes to repeat a pattern of behavior where they like to be in relationships where maybe it is more transactional, we should exchange time, energy, and effort, and maybe financial resources with each other, because I'm motivated to look like I have a certain status and a certain image. Maybe they went and took a risk to go get in a relationship with someone for those reasons. And that was why the relationship ended. We find out what different people are motivated and inspired by. And some people, it's not love. They would have a lot of lessons to learn in life, because I think, we see enough stories on TV and magazines of people who have everything that you think that materialistically you could want in life, and they're miserable and they're drinking and drugging themselves to death. Love is what makes our life worth living. But some people, you know, they would, in order to be in relationships that are more just and fair and balanced, they'd have to quit being defensive or fearful or insecure or immature or whatever. Can't just indulge yourself in a relationship if you want to, for it to be based on love. You have to be willing to take a risk and deal with your inner conflict that you have, maybe about being self-centered and wanting everything to be about you, because shadowy Aquarius energy can be that too. Some people have illusions about how they view relationships. Some people think, well, I should be able to be the center of attention. Everybody should orient around me. Well, they got some life lessons to learn. So if you dealt with someone who harnesses shadowy Aries, shadowy Leo, and shadowy Aquarius energy, who also, in their Gemini nature, live more from their mind and their heart, who think relationships should be more transactional, that they should be able to be foolish and competitive and prideful and egotistical and stubborn and self-centered in a relationship, yeah, you found out that isn't the type of person you want to have a dream come into reality with, because you probably harness these energies in a high vibe way. So just like you harness Aries, Aquarius, Leo, Gemini, Taurus energy in a high vibe way, we meet people who harness these energies in a more shadowy way. People in high vibe are bold, are willing to trust and believe in themselves and others. They have a dream. They want to bring it into reality. They're willing to take bold, creative, inspired action in love to bring those dreams into reality. They're willing to put an end to making relationships more transactional or being foolish and making their life more about the world and image and status. They have this dream they want to bring into reality. They're willing to put work and effort into bringing this dream into reality. And you get in relationships with other people and you realize, no, they gave the illusion that they had that same dream, but when it came down to where people had to let go of old dreams and ways of viewing things in order to move forward in a more just and fair and balanced way and go on a new journey, some people said, nope, I guess I do like living life the way I've lived it, and I'm willing to let go of this dream in order to keep doing life the way I've done it. So you have the Symphony, the Fairy Tale, in a few weeks, and the Sapphire card. So the person of water, the water in tarot represents our emotional realm and our loving nature. There could be someone who you had to listen to your intuition about, because that's also our emotional watery realm, is our intuition. And if your intuition was telling you that someone who you might have emotions for needed to be let go of your life, then that's what happened. And some people, as you're moving forward in your life, you could have some people who think they want to stop you from moving forward in your life. They want to exchange time, energy, effort, hugs, and kisses with you. They could view you as being very successful. Maybe it's the same old person who walked away before. Now they're coming back around. Maybe you are the one who now seems to have the status or the image or the whatever. Whoever they left for before seemed to be shining bright, but now maybe you're the one who's starting to seem to be shining bright, and they want to come back and get in a relationship with you. Well, as you're moving forward in your own life, it's part of the game of life. You were given your intuition for a reason, not just to go based on how people present themselves, what you see in the world and what they say, what you hear. You need to listen to your intuition about what's hidden. If you have some people coming towards you, is it because they want to stop you from bringing what's truly kind of like your fairy tale into reality, and they want to stop you from having that come into reality. Well, if you're kind of in your pride and ego and competitive and whatever, or fearful and insecure, and you listen more to your mind than your heart, you'll probably stop right there on your path and journey and get involved in a relationship. And the divine wants us to have our divine inheritance, but only we can decide if we're willing to do the work to claim it, to have it. And you could have other people coming into your life who want to go on that journey with you. You'll have to listen to your intuition. Have they changed their tune? Do they now believe that? Have they gotten out of their fear, their insecurity, their pride, their ego? Have they seen that, I don't know, what's truly valuable in the world or not? And it could be someone new. So we have the King of Cups. And the reason is because of the Strength card. The kings, we all take action in masculine energy. So whether someone's male or female, you and the other people you want to play with are people who truly are taking action from an authentic place within themselves. They're not just presenting themselves as like a loving family person. They truly are a loving family person. Why? Because they have learned to temper their more worldly ego nature. We have our loving nature and we have our prideful worldly ego nature. People who can take action in love are people who've tempered their fear, their insecurity, their emotional defensiveness. They've kind of gotten over their past pain and heartbreak so that is no longer dictating, their life and emotional defensiveness. They're strong. They're willing to step in the spotlight of their own life, willing to connect in with themselves emotionally. Be authentic, be honest, be loving, look at life as an adventure to be lived. To believe you can manifest your dreams into reality. If you had been in relationships with people who present themselves that way in the world, but it was just more of an illusion, because the kings also, again, how we present ourselves to the world, we can present ourselves to the world as being a loving family person, but inside, internally, emotionally, we're actually wearing a social mask, or prideful, or egotistical, or emotionally defensive. You already cut someone else like that out of your life, probably, in your lifetime. We all have. People who try to manipulate us, control us, all that good stuff. You want to be with people who authentically are these things, not people who just wear a social mask of being all those things, but they're not. So high vibe people are people who have realized the truth about what's really valuable. Is it protecting themselves at all costs so they don't get hurt emotionally? Is that the most important thing in the world to them? Not being vulnerable, not willing to let their more authentic, loving nature out to play in the world? Well, that's what they think is valuable. We all make decisions based on where we're at. And if some people haven't learned to love and believe in themselves, they don't have a very strong emotional foundation, they are going to protect themselves at all costs because they're very vulnerable. They haven't learned to build their own foundation to feel like they can weather storms in life. Let's go look down at the shadowy row right now. Oh, and some of you might be making an offer to someone who you see as very valuable, someone who you view as harnessing high vibe Leo energy. They don't have to be born under the Leo sun sign. It's just someone who those are the type of people you want to invest in. People who've tempered their more shadowy nature. That's our more immature, indulgent, selfish, greedy, lazy, self-centered, selfish, greedy, lustful, prideful nature. You want to invest emotionally and take action towards other people who have also tempered their more worldly ego nature. Because you have done that within yourself. Okay, so in the bottom row for shadowy Taurus energy, these two weren't showing themselves. Shoot, now which way was it? I want to do them in the same order that they show up. I think this one came out in reverse. Checkered flag in reverse. Some people, again, we can't move forward in our life and step out of our comfort zone and quit repeating a pattern of life until we've learned the lesson we were meant to learn from that life experience. Some people with the checkered flag in reverse, they have not learned a lesson that they need to have learned to be on the same. It's kind of like all of us are living in parallel universes based on how we perceive the world and ourselves, even though we all live in the same world. Some people perceive life completely differently than you do. They can perceive relationships differently than you do. And you can wonder, how do you perceive life so differently than I do? But we got people in the world who, do awful and atrocious things. We got people who are really discriminative and blah, blah, blah. Everybody has their biases, basically. So we're all on different pages. Some people have not crossed the finish line yet. Biker, it says lone wolf, nonconformist, standing up, breaking rules, brotherhood, loves freedom, moving on. In order to, if a person had finished the race, they would be more independent of the world. They'd know their own worth and value, and they wouldn't make their life about image and status and maybe trying to present themselves as someone who's tough and defensive or something, male or female. So we'll get some clarifiers on that too. So anyway, some people aren't willing to stand up for themselves, and that's a life lesson people have to learn too, if they want. Some people aren't willing to stand up for what they believe in, what they love, how they'd really like to live their life. Because again, in our pride and ego, we can want to conform to the world. So we have Emerald, Thunderstorm, Dynamite, ballet shoes, and the reason is because of Slingshot. Well, some people could blow up dancing to their own tune. They're not willing to do that. They could be, the Thunderstorm kind of reminds me of the Tower card, when we're not building our own foundation on love and belief in ourselves, we're kind of building our life on an unstable foundation, and then we could get in relationships and we're trying to build those relationships on something other than love, like out of fear or codependency. The emerald, the green, kind of makes you think of people who could be very envious and jealous and materialistic in the world. Some people, well, let's just stick with normal people in a way, that are kind of indulging in things of the world, we could say, and they haven't learned to love themselves, and they think the things of the world that they indulge in, if that's other people, wine, women, song, blah, 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 everything in life can be enjoyed. It's just to enjoy it in moderation and not at the expense of loving yourself and treating yourself with respect and compassion and forgiveness and rejecting other loving people in your life. But some people get so caught up in the things of the world, they've become unstable because they're starting to make the things of the world, like lust and greed or things like that, more important than love. And they're blowing up, listening to their own intuition and living their own life, and they're making it about conforming to the world or indulging their fear or their insecurity or their addiction. Some people could have thought that they could move forward really quickly with the slingshot if they had been in jobs or relationships where they thought a dream was going to come into reality, but then someone else presented themselves as being an opportunity, a different job, a different friend group, a different relationship. And some people said, oh, if I move forward with the high vibe people, I'm going to have to learn to temper my pride and ego and get balanced and work through my fears and insecurity. Here's someone who I can go get in a relationship with, the Five of Wands, kind of like the competition. I have inner conflict about viewing my life differently and how I perceive myself in the world around me. And there's someone else I can go maybe work with to bring my view of how I view being successful in the world into reality. And I don't have to do any of that work. And that's kind of like our dualistic nature. I can learn to love and believe in myself and learn how to soothe my fears, my insecurities, my defensiveness, whatever, so that I can keep moving forward, believing in myself and believing in my dreams. Or I think I'm just going to go align with my fearful side or my defensive side or my ego side and maybe go align with some other people in the world who also might be driven by those things, and I'll go get in a relationship with them, and then I can still look like I'm successful in the world. I just haven't done the work within myself to make it about love. So if there was someone else that they thought that they could move forward with very quickly, maybe someone who has money and materialism, maybe someone who experienced a major disruption in their life, and it's like, oh, did your relationship or your workplace or your friendship group fall apart? Perfect. I'll leave the group I'm in to come get in a relationship with you, because I think that will make me look like I'm moving forward in a very successful way. I'm going to blow up things with the people who listen to love and intuition, because I want to move forward and look really successful in the world. Yeah. And under that is the fine print. You know, we either think we can cheat the system, that we can do things the way we want, but the thing is, we live within the divine's manifestation, which is this world, and I think there's consequences to our decisions that we make, and some people think if they just hide them from the world, that people of the world won't know and everything will go okay. It's like, no, but you know. And it's just the way the world works. The divine knows the hearts of people. So some people didn't want to do the work, maybe wanted to kind of be a lone wolf, a rebel, and skirt the system without having to kind of play by the rules. Tell us about, there's anything that's kind of created, even if you go to a park. There's rules about going to a park, you know, that you're not supposed to litter and, you know, other things. Okay, tell us about this checkered flag in reverse and the biker card. High Priestess, Star, Five of Swords, because of the Ten of Swords. Some people thought in shadow, the High Priestess can be people who want to keep things secret and hidden. Some people, kind of like negative energy of the world, if we wanted to equate it between like love and the devil or something. You know, like the devil thinks they can hide from the divine because they have mental conflict about putting an end to their old ways of being, and they think they can just backstab and betray people because they are very competitive and they want to win at all costs, and they don't care who gets hurt, and they think everything will be okay. And then there's some people in the world who harness that energy. I don't want to listen to my intuition. In high vibe, it would be people would listen to their intuition about seeing life from a higher perspective, having hope and faith and belief in themselves, having hope and faith and belief in the energy of love, and they'd be willing to change, and they'd stop backstabbing themselves and backstabbing others. But because they don't have hope and faith and belief in themselves and in love, and if they get some people, you know, we either empower ourselves, and we empower ourselves with love. We don't have to build our sense of ego off of diminishing other people, because we don't like to live our life that way. But people who haven't learned to empower themselves, when they get around people who have put an end to their own mental conflict, and they do listen to their intuition, and they do align with love and loving themselves and believing in themselves and believing in their dreams. Other people who haven't done that, it could kick up like their shadow side of being kind of jealous and envious. Why do you love yourself and I haven't learned to love myself? Why are you not codependent on the world to validate your worth and value, and I am codependent on others to validate my worth and value? How come you know how to fill up your own cup emotionally, and I'm looking for other people to give me a cup of love because I don't know how to love myself? Well, sometimes when you get in relationships with people who aren't putting in the work that you're putting in, maybe behind the scenes, to learn to put an end to exchanging resources and indulging your more fearful, insecure nature, and you decide to align with your more hopeful, believing, optimistic nature, that's how you did the work. It takes work to overcome, because we grow. We're a human being. We all have our shadow nature. We're all kind of got some fears, some insecurities, some pride, some ego, some wanting things our way nature. But are we going to let that run our life? Or do we have a dream we want to bring into reality and want to get out of feeling that way about ourselves? So we try to offset that with soothing our more fearful, insecure nature, and loving ourselves and believing in ourselves, and treating, if no one else in the world is going to treat me with love and kindness and compassion, encouragement, well, I don't have control over anyone else, and I shouldn't control anyone else. If there's one person in the world who's going to treat me that way, it's going to be me. And you learn that lesson within yourself that, I'm going to try to treat myself with love and compassion. I got people out in the world, as soon as I step out my door, that could want to belittle me and insult me and diminish me. And I have to, if I want my dreams to come into reality, I can't let negative energy in the world or in my own nature defeat me. I have to, in the energy of love, learn to overcome negative energy in the world and negative energy that's inherent kind of within who I am. I can't get caught up in my fears in my mind. I have to talk myself down with love. While other people who haven't learned how to do that can sometimes want to feel powerful by backstabbing and betraying you. Because then if it destabilizes you and you're kind of in the pity me, poor me, I have a lot of mental conflict, I'm hurt, I don't know what to do, I can't see the truth clearly now, then you're kind of in the same boat as them. And then sometimes that can make them feel powerful. And for others, they think they can hide that they backstabbed loving people because they wanted to win at all costs. And they're motivated by the things of the world. Tell us about the emerald and the thunderstorm. Two of Pentacles, Chariot, Four of Swords, because of Nine of Cups. We either are emotionally independent of the world or we're not, and we're codependent on the world. And we're talking about people in shadowy Virgo energy. They're not building their life based on love, and they're not making their relationships based on love. They're making their life based on indulging in the world and indulging in relationships, and thinking it's just and fair for them to be that way. It's all about them. Their wants, their needs, their lusts, their greed, their pride, their ego. They juggle people, don't really invest, in order to try to make them look like they're moving forward successfully in the world. And if there has been someone that they've been juggling, they might want to move forward and try to heal things with someone because They want the Chariot card in high vibe is supposed to be Cancer energy, where people are emotionally balanced from a place of love. But in shadowy energy, it's people who use their emotions manipulatively in relationship to get what they want. And the people that are in shadowy energy right now want to look like they're victorious in the world. Look at all the things I have in the world. And if it disrupts the foundation of some people in my life that wanted me to grow and mature myself, how dare they? I hope it really upsets them that I am going to move forward and try to heal things either with other people, because people can just align with their ego nature, defensive nature. And it's like, that's what I think is valuable. I think protecting myself and my ego or my more emotionally vulnerable nature is the most important thing. I'm going to keep juggling people. I'm going to keep moving forward, trying to heal. Well, or keep meditating more on my next idea, because I don't know that they ever meditate on the truth. Maybe thinking, who can I go indulge myself with next time? Who can I go have a victory with? Goodness. It's kind of really bringing up the energy of like good and evil in the world. People who are in loving energy don't try to destabilize you. People who love you don't backstab and betray you. They have no interest in doing that. You know, we all can have friends and maybe children or siblings or parents or coworkers. And we know how we are. Would we backstab and betray someone just because we were jealous or envious? No, but some people would. I don't like that you seem to be so emotionally balanced. I don't like how you seem to have healed from your past pain and heartbreak. Why haven't I healed from my past pain and heartbreak? It's like, well, I don't know. What is your past pain and heartbreak? You'd have to be willing to look at it. You'd have to be willing to see the truth about people who hurt you. Why aren't you willing to be loving to people? Who in your past hurt you? Are you willing to see the truth? I mean, the thing about seeing the truth about people, that is Virgo energy. You go within to see the truth, but you're shedding light on it, which is love and compassion. It isn't to go in there and I have to pummel everybody to tiny bits for having been a fallible human being. It's like, no, we're all fallible human beings. You just see the truth that maybe some people weren't able to give you the things that you wish they would have given you because they were kind of caught up in their pride or ego or their self-centeredness, or they use manipulation to try to get people to do what they want instead of love. We could sit and wonder forever why people do what they do. All we have to know is, were they able to get across the finish line and make relationships about love? It's shedding all these layers of ourself, of our fear, our insecurity, our pride and ego. Sadly, if we look at this from a really negative perspective, it's kind of like the devil. The devil juggles love because the devil wants to indulge themselves in the world. The devil doesn't meditate on the truth. We either see the truth, or in our pride and ego, we think we know better. Well, when we're in shadowy, prideful devil energy per se, because we have this dualistic nature, it resides within us. We can choose, what kind of universe are you going to create? All the people who want to bitch and complain about the divine or God. Why does God let negative energy in the world? I don't know. Why do you let negative energy in the world? Why do you let negative people in your life? Why in your universe is there bullshit? Well, the devil juggles love because they would rather indulge himself in a relationship. They want to look very successful in the world. They think that will be the means of healing. If I have all these things of the world, if I have the money and the status and the image, I'll miraculously be healed. All my past pain and heartbreak will be gone. It's like, no, that's an illusion. You'll just have a bunch of stuff. And all the people you threw to the wayside because you were so self-consumed with yourself. And all you did was meditate on who you could go indulge yourself with next to make yourself look like you were moving forward victoriously. Well, not you, people who are in shadow energy. You know who you are, and you probably know some people like that in the world. There could be two people that are indulging themselves in the relationship. People who harness shadowy Capricorn energy, because shadowy Capricorn energy is represented by the devil in tarot, and shadowy Capricorn energy is when we align with our worldly nature more than our loving nature. High vibe Capricorn is people who put in the work and effort to free themselves from their worldly nature. People who are in shadowy Capricorn energy, regardless of what zodiac sign they were born under, haven't freed themselves from their worldly nature. They still indulge in their pride and ego and making their life about money and materialism. They present themselves in the world as being loving family people, as presenting the illusion of being emotionally balanced and successful because they present themselves as operating from love. But it's all just an illusion so that the world views them victoriously. And they could be moving forward with people who in their Libra energy haven't healed. Some of the people right now who want to go indulge themselves in money and materialism, maybe destabilize some people that they're jealous of, who wanted them to grow and mature, or just jealous of other people who are grown and matured. Some of them want to move forward with other people right now who might be trying to heal, and they don't want them to heal, because just like we have different people in the world, we have our dualistic nature, there's other people in the world who represent these different energies in our life. Are we going to let the shadowy people into our life that want to move forward with us, look like they're the victor, look like they're the winner, but it's just about indulging in a relationship with us? It's not true and authentic? Or are we going to align with the loving people in the world who have put aside their more prideful, egotistical, transactional way of viewing relationships? And are they really willing to trust and love? Have they tempered their pride and ego? They don't try to manipulate and control us. They offer us love. Which people are we going to hang out with? Some of you who have already left some people behind, you might know some people right now that are moving forward in a worldly based relationship that you know is very unstable, because they're both about indulging themselves, or maybe all three people, maybe all four. Well, people who harness shadowy Capricorn, Cancer, Libra, and Pisces energy, regardless of what zodiac sign they're born under. Pisces and shadow is people who have illusions about the world and about relationships. And they don't want to see the truth. It is all about living in la la land, fantasy land. I want to be in denial of the truth. I don't have to grow and mature myself. If I just make myself look victorious and like I'm moving successfully forward in my life, then that's all there is, right? Is to try to confuse the masses about the truth. But then we have the dynamite and the ballet shoes. Let's see what that's about. You know, the divine has other plans. The divine didn't make this. We can do what we want, but there is consequences to our actions. And I would say there's going to be a blow up to the performance they've been putting on in the world. Six of Pentacles, Nine of Swords, because of the Queen of Wands. This could be something, the Nine of Swords, something people have given a lot of thought to. Queen of Wands, emotionally, in their pride and ego, making decisions out of pride and ego. They want to exchange resources with other people, or they're exchanging resources. If they're not in a relationship with someone else, they are exchanging resources with their more egoic nature because of their fear and insecurity about being bold and brave and confident. And if they're not bold and brave and confident to harness high vibe Leo energy, be authentically themselves, listen to their intuition, live their life authentically, yeah, they could be really upset that other people that they know are moving forward like that, and they want to blow up their performance. And they're giving a lot of thought to it. And it could be, if I can move forward with some people and get in a relationship with them and indulge in a relationship, it'll make me feel so powerful because I have kind of blown up maybe a dream that someone had because I emotionally manipulated someone maybe to get in a relationship with me because I want to look like I'm the winner. I want to look like they picked me and not the loving, just and fair and whatever people. Well, I think if people get in a relationship based on those reasons, I think both people are going to be really stressed because they know they didn't get in the relationship because of love. They both might have gotten in the relationship because of pride and ego and wanting to feel powerful by trying to blow up the lives of people who live life more authentically than they do, and they don't like that. And when they're in the relationship with someone else who might have gotten in a relationship with them because of their fears, their insecurities, their pride, their ego, their competitive nature, yeah, exchanging resources with those people is going to cause them a lot of stress and anxiety because they know they're not being truthful and honest. They could probably sense the people that they're getting in relationships with aren't in relationships with them for the best reasons. But if they presented an illusion that, oh no, this is the person I want to move forward with, oh no, this is the person I love, well, if they've been putting on a show, they'd have to blow up the show. The illusion. They'd have to be bold and brave and confident, get over themselves. If they want to move forward in a positive manner, they need to blow up the whole illusion and their illusions about themselves and the world around them and how they view relationships and their prideful nature, their ego nature, whatever. And instead of doing that, Virgo also is the aspect of ourself that really pays attention to details. And then this car here with the friends and the vehicle there. When people are in relationships and they're trying to manipulate other people to get them to do what they want because they don't want them to believe in themselves and they don't want them to go align with people who are just and fair and loving, because then you'd go have the life of your dreams and I'm stuck back here and I'd be jealous and envious and all that stuff. Those people pay a lot of attention to how to manipulate people, maybe kind of in their worldly nature, because the vehicle kind of reminds me of the vessel, and our vessel is how we present ourselves in the world and all that stuff. How to make chess moves that basically put people in a mental fuck. When we have lessons to learn and we don't know our worth and value and we aren't putting in the work and effort to grow and mature ourselves and see the truth and deal with our past pain and heartbreak and accept that some of the people I love that I wanted to have a dream come into reality were immature or they're reckless or they're abusive or they're unloving or whatever, We just got to see the truth of it so we're not an illusion anymore. And if we think we don't have to deal with our own inner conflict and we can cheat the system and then we can just go get in a relationship to make it look like we're moving forward, look how successful I am, and still think we don't have to deal with our bullshit, guess what? The divine has a different plan. People are going to get in relationships with people that might move forward very quickly. Because some of them want to look like they had checkmate. Look, I beat someone else. I'm more successful and victorious than someone else. People that are in high vibe aren't looking to checkmate anybody. I'm living my own life. I wish you peace. I hope your life works out however you choose to live it. my sense of ego and self-esteem or whatever doesn't have anything to do with how you're living your life. I have my biggest battle is to make sure I don't tip out of balance and start indulging my more fearful, insecure, in um, indulging myself or indulging others in ways that are unhealthy. I got my own little warfare going on, just like we all do inside of us of spiritual warfare. Some people want to compete with the checkmate kind of card. There's what it reminds me of. And they don't realize they're getting themselves deeper and deeper into the labyrinth. And it's going to be that much harder to get out. Because if any of you have thought, I don't have to deal with my past pain and heartbreak, I don't have to deal with my fear and insecurity, I can just go indulge myself in the world. I can just give the illusion like I'm moving forward really successfully. And I'm sure those things that I want to go indulge in or those people, they're the ones, or those are the things that can heal me. They'll make me feel better. It's like, that's like bringing dynamite to a dance. You know? If we don't keep pushing the ball uphill or the incline to keep moving forward in our life, we think we can just go back a little bit and stay where we were. If your intuition was telling you you were supposed to move forward and you ignored it, it ends up being a backslide. And then we can get stuck in things that, practically gets down to life and death. Are we going to stand up for ourselves and what we believe in? Am I finally going to love myself and believe in myself? Because I just got myself in a shit show of my own making. Or because I was naive and didn't listen to my intuition, that when people showed me they were immature, they were reckless, they were bossy, they were controlling, they were manipulative, I went and got back in a relationship with them anyway. Some people who might have left a relationship with you before and they backstabbed and betrayed you because they weren't willing to put in the work and effort to be balanced within themselves and deal with their own shadow nature issues to be able to go on a journey with you. Some of those people could have gotten in a different friend group or relationship thinking they could hide that they backstabbed and betrayed you, but you're singing your song and moving forward, and people see how you conduct yourself from a place of value and self-worth. Some of those people might think that maybe something fell apart here with it looking like the Tower card to me. Some of those people thought maybe they could come back and get in a relationship with you, but because you are not indulging your more impulsive, reckless nature, or letting just one aspect of yourself run your life, you're trying to make wise decisions in your life, they see that you've kind of moved on, and those people might have to go back and exchange resources with people they left you for. And they're really worried about that relationship because they could know that the people that they could have left you for are people who are emotionally manipulative, who it will be like a continual game of chess and mental mindfuckery. It's like, well, when you took a risk not to do the work to be open and honest and loving, well, I guess you're probably going to go align with some people who are just like you. And those people might also be people who really mentally strategize and try to manipulate and control people in the world. So, bye Virgo, you're putting in work and effort to bring your dreams into reality. And the people who haven't learned lessons in life are going to try to look like they're moving forward successfully too, but without having done the inner work, basically. So there you go, Virgo. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.